Fanatics. Welcome back, everyone. We are in the teens. We are in the teens. Sweet. This is about the time. I know we already have a division champion already. We already have one division champion at 19. 18, I think, is that's where you got the people that separate themselves. I think it separates at 18. At 18, I have the Cleveland Browns. And the Cleveland Browns got enough talent to win their division, win a couple playoff games. They got plenty of talent. I just at this point, you just got to start going with like quarterbacks matter, coaches matter, system matters. Yes, I mean culture is like why you get. That's why the same guys are there every single year. That's why Andy Reid's there every single year. That's why Bill Belichick's there every single year. That's why he's not there every single year, but he doesn't have bad teams. You got Mike Tomlin that's always winning games. Harbaugh. It's culture matters at some point in time. You can't just have a talented roster, and that's where I'm going to separate myself here, because I don't know. I kind of want to get into players first, but I kind of want to give you like a little what I'm thinking about what I think about the Browns in general. They have a not my fault kind of culture, and they get not my fault kind of guys, or why is this always happening to me kind of guys. Run away from their problem kind of guys. You got you pick up Elijah Moore, you trade for him after he like has problems with the Jets, and he's like, oh, it's their fault. It's not my fault. It's their fault. All right, and you get Deshaun Watson, who had one bad season. He's like, I'm not playing for the Texans anymore after one bad season. They fire their coach. They bring somebody else in. Nope, not playing for them anymore. Oh, you have 20 plus sexual assault charges. Oh, that wasn't. You guys are blowing it. You're blowing it out of proportion. That wasn't me. It's not my fault. Stefanski. Oh, Woods got to go. The defense was the problem. Oh, was it? I saw the defense hold the Ravens to 3 points. I mean, I saw that happen. They had some good game. Bucks to 17. Tom Brady. They held the Bears to 14. I mean, they had some pretty good defensive games, especially towards the end of the year. They held the Bengals to 13 at one game. Oh yeah, but it's not my fault. It's the defensive coordinator's fault. Defensive coordinator got a job in like 5 seconds. Baker Mayfield made the playoffs with this team. Played through an injury. Yeah, we need a better quarterback. It's not my fault. It's Baker's fault. This whole team is just like not my fault, guys. And let's go into you got a stupid talented roster. PFF has you of the 6th best defensive line, 2nd best O line, and 8th best secondary. Whose fault is it, Stefanski? You got the quarterback you wanted. You got the defensive coordinator you wanted. You're going to fire the OC next time? It's not your fault? And Amari Cooper doesn't want to get vaccinated. Yeah, the government trying to make me get vaccinated, or the NFL trying to get me vaccinated, and I got COVID, and they wouldn't let me play. It's not my fault. Kareem Hunt kicks a girl. Kicks a girl. Andy Reid's like, you're out, bro. Browns are like, yeah, we want those guys. We want the not my fault guys. You're creating a culture of not my fault guys for the talent, but you're still not winning games, even though you're super talented, because you have not my fault guys. So I didn't mean for that to be a rant, but why are they constantly bad? Why are you constantly bad with this much talent? Everybody's blaming everybody else. No one's taking any kind of leadership. And you keep on encouraging those people to come back. And man, they have some good. They got poor Nick Chubb. Every year, shows up to work, does his job, goes home. Yeah. And poor, I mean, same thing with Miles Garrett. I mean, he had that incident with uh, uh, the kid from the Steelers, Rudolph. His name Rudolph, I think so. Mason Rudolph. Yeah, that's his name. Um, I don't know whose fault it was, but Miles Garrett said, "Not my fault." It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's not your fault. Somebody at some point in time, somebody on this team is going to have to take responsibility. Says we got to be better. You know what Mike Tomlin does when he comes to the microphone? He says we got to be better. We got to be better, and that's it. Bill Belichick, we got to be better. It's everyone's fault. I'll take it. I'm the coach. I'll take it. It's my fault. We got to create a culture of not my fault guys. Of no, not my fault guys. I hope that makes sense to everybody because culture matters. That's why the same teams are. That's why the 49ers are always there. They're a well-run organization. Say what you want about Jerry Jones. The Cowboys keep winning. They keep winning football games. The Eagles, they got a good culture. Steelers, Ravens, Bengals. Who would have thought Bengals? Packers. I got the Packers winning the division without Aaron Rodgers. You know why? Got a good coach, got a good culture. I mean, I feel like I just start off with a rant and kind of really negative, but that's why I have them in 18. I couldn't put them any higher because I love the talent and I think they can win, but they got to change their mindset, man. Somebody's got to be a leader on this team. And I don't see it. I don't see anyone being a leader on this team. Maybe Nick Chubb, but he's just a quiet guy. So let's just go through the entire last year, this year, like what we normally do. So let's do a PFF. I already told you D line 6th, offensive line 2nd, and secondary is 8th. That's a freaking that's a Super Bowl winning kind of roster. And if Deshaun Watson's what you think he is, he's a top 5 quarterback in the league. So you got a top 5 quarterback. You got Amari Cooper, who's a legitimate number 1, multi-time Pro Bowler. You got Nick Chubb, who's a multi-time time Pro Bowler. You got Myles Garrett, who's a multi-time Pro Bowler. These are freaking studs. Whose fault is it? If they don't win this year, whose fault is it? It's going to be somebody's fault. Kevin Stefanski, you're 5th in line to lose your job this year. You're the 5th best odds to lose your job this year. And then they'll bring in somebody else that's a not my fault guy, and it'll start the chain all over again. So I think that they have a culture issue, and I don't think bringing in Deshaun Watson solves anything. The guys, think about Jadeveon Clowney they brought in. It was like, yeah, no, I was the number 1 overall pick, but they made me play a 3-4 instead of a 4-3 or whatever, and I just can't do that. It's just like all these guys are like that. So let's go through the schedule. Man, I need to get some positivity in my life. Jeez Louise. Let me go through the schedule. So we got last year they played Panthers and won that game. That was the one where they did the last second field goal. It was like 60-yarder or something like that to win the game. They won that 26-24. You got the Jets. They lost 31-30. Steelers, they beat 27-17. At Falcons, they lost 23-20, 26-20, sorry. They played at home against the Chargers. They lost 30-28. At home to the Pats, they lost 38-15. At the Ravens, they lost 23-20. Bengals at home, they beat 32-13. At Dolphins, they lost 39-17. At Bills, they lost 31-23. They won at home against the Bucs 23-17. At Texans, they won 27-14. At Bengals, they lost 23-10. At home to the Ravens, they won 13-3. Saints at home, they lost 17-10. At Commanders, they won 24-10. At Steelers, they lost 28-14. So they went 7-10 this year. Deshaun Watson went 3-3. Deshaun Watson last year, I mean, we'll give him that it wasn't a good year. He's ramping up. He didn't play for a year, and then he had to suspended. Whose fault? Whose fault was that? Not his. It wasn't his fault. Why do we think this is not going to happen again? As soon as there's something wrong, there's going to be somebody's fault. And then what? And then what happens? Then what happens? You got to blame somebody. Somebody's going to take the fall. Maybe the offensive line gets overhauled. Maybe Njoku is gone. Maybe it's his fault. I don't know what to tell you. But you're getting older, man. These guys are getting older. Nick Chubb's going to be 28 this year. Amari Cooper's 29. It's they're getting up there. You ain't got no first round picks. You don't have any more cap space. This is the year. If you're going to do anything, this is going to be the year to do it. And that division, I just think, is loaded. So let's go with what I have. I actually think they're going to be quite good this year. I think they just have too much talent not to, and their schedule is not difficult. So I have them at home win against the Bengals first game of the season. They go to Pittsburgh. They lose. They lose at home to Tennessee. They beat Baltimore at home. They beat San Francisco at home off a bye. They beat Indy at Indy. They lose. They go cross country to Seattle and lose. They win at home against Arizona. I basically have everybody in the division splitting like they do every year. So they're 3-3. So they win all their home games and lose all their away games. So at Baltimore, I have them losing, and then they win at home against Pitt, and then they lose at Denver. I got them losing at the Rams because it's 2 road games in a row, and it's cross country. So I got them losing to the Rams, and that team's going to be energized. That team's young, and it's going to be fun, and they're going to start figuring it out towards the end of the season, I think. They just got to get some reps in. Then they lose at home to Jacksonville. They beat Chicago at home. I got them winning at Houston, losing at home to the Jets because I think the Jets are going to be vying for a playoff spot, and it's going to be a must-win for them. And it's going to come down to I have the Bengals and the Browns both at 10-6, and they play each other, and the winner of that goes to the playoffs. So it's in Cincy, so I think Cincy wins it, but that's how I have it playing out. So if they're one game out of the playoffs for me, and they're the last one in. They're the last one out. I mean, but you say why are they? I have a lot of good teams that are missing out of the playoffs, and they just have worse records because they have stronger schedules. This is good. The schedule's not difficult. You get to play Arizona, Houston, the Rams, Chicago. Your schedule's not Indy. You get to play a lot of bottom tier teams. So outside of your division, it ain't that bad. So I think that they can easily go 10-7, which is what I have them going. That division is just tough. It's a tough division. There's a lot of good teams in that. A lot of people will be shocked if the Ravens don't make it. A lot of people will be shocked if the Bengals don't make it. I have the Steelers making it. So it's like one of these teams isn't like the other. The Bengals always go to the playoffs. Bengals are well run now. Baltimore, well run now. They got leaders. They got Steelers, well run. And then you're not my fault, guys. I don't know why. I just came like firing like that. No, I think I was just thinking about it because I was like, why is this great team? This team is loaded on paper. Why do they keep losing? Why do they always lose? I don't know. So I think we're also kind of overrating. I don't know why we do this because we've been doing it like Lamar Jackson a lot lately. Lamar Jackson hasn't been a very good quarterback in 3 years. Look at his stats. Even in fantasy football, he hasn't been a top 10 quarterback in 3 years as far as for the whole season. He's always missing games. He's always hurt. He's always sick. He's a not my fault guy. He's like, I'm sitting out. You got to pay me. I don't want to play unless you pay me. And I think that the Baltimore is in kind of a weird position with that right now. But I think we do it with Watson too. So everybody's saying that Dak is regressed. He's not playing well. I just want to have the last 3 seasons that they played full seasons. Let me just give you their yards and touchdowns. So I have Watson's from 2018 to 2020, and I have Dak from 2018, and I skipped 20 because he got hurt. So I gave it from 2021. So Dak's last full season, 4,449 yards and 37 touchdowns. Watson, 4,823 and 33 touchdowns. And in 2019, Watson, 3,852 yards and 26 touchdowns. Dak Prescott, 4,902 yards and 30 touchdowns. Watson was a Pro Bowler that year, and Dak wasn't. So I just don't know. I don't even. You get the picture. I don't even need to go to 2018. Dak was better. Dak was better for the whole stretch. Dak went to 1 Pro Bowl in that stretch, and Watson went to 2. Dak made the playoffs twice, and Watson made the playoffs twice. So it's I think we just pick kind of quarterbacks that like are kind of cool and kind of make flashy plays and do that kind of thing, and then they're just we get into this like narrative about that. And I don't know. And then not only do we get the narrative about that, we get the narrative that means that the team's going to win. Like that's because they're so flashy, that means team success. And it's just not how. Look at Justin Fields was real flashy. Everybody's going to say he's a breakout. They were the number 1 pick this year. It don't always work like that. I mean, and then I love it. I love what happens. So sometimes we forgive others and we don't like. So yeah, Watson missed all these games from nobody else's fault, only his fault. He missed all these games, so he needs some ramp up time. Oh, Russell Wilson, it was let Russ cook. He goes to the Browns. Oh, he's terrible now. Like he's so bad. The dude played. The dude had great like last 2 games of the season. I mean, but he's not my fault, guys. So I can't really blame it against him. He's like, yeah, they're not doing what I want them to do. He like cut and run. They're like cut and run guys. Russell Wilson had 1 bad season in Seattle. He's like, I gotta go. Sean Watson, 1 bad season. I gotta go. It's kind of wild. It's I'm actually kind of like this was on a pre-planned rant. I just kind of like went into it because you got to find some reason why good teams lose, and at some point you just got to point to something and try to figure it out. And I think that's kind of how it is. I think I think the Jets are super talented this year. I'm nervous about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers seems like he's like very happy right now. He's got everything under control. They were losing last year. Aaron Rodgers kept on going on Pat McAfee show being like, not my fault. First losing season he's had in what, he did 2 MVPs and number 1 overall seed. And he got bounced in the playoffs. He's like, not my fault. So I think that's kind of what I'm liking about teams this year as far as the teams that I have going pretty far. I have teams that I'm trying to think of all my teams. Yeah, I have very strong leaders, coaches, organizations making it pretty far. And maybe that's wrong, but not historically. Not historically. 49ers are there quite a bit. The Eagles are going to be in the mix. The Chiefs are going to be in the mix. The Ravens and the Steelers, they're going to be in the mix. So I'm going to hitch my wagon to those kind of teams. I mean, I can go through these with you, but like that's sort of the overall reason. If you want me to go through the roster, I can. We know these players. They didn't lose really anyone. They lost Clowney. They lost Hunt. They lost Deion Jones, who's on the Panthers now. But they kept. I mean, they got Zadarius Smith. They got Myles Garrett. Still got Nick Chubb. They got Elijah Moore, who is apparently a diva now that hasn't really done anything in the league. So, but he's just. It's kind of like J.K. Dobbins, right? Ravens are like, yeah, we're good. Yeah. Hold out. Sure. Yeah, we'll pay you. What's he doing? But yeah, they got the same team they had. I think everybody's just expecting. We do this every year with the Browns. We're like, yeah, they're gonna be good this year. Look at their roster. The roster is amazing. And Watson, now that he had some like ramp up here, he's gonna be really good. Okay, until they lose 2 games in a row, and then everybody's blaming each other, and they keep losing. Say what you want about Baker, man. Baker kept that. He kept that. He went up there and showed a brave face, and he would get kind of like whiny a little bit, like kind of like annoyed. But I think he took, for the most part, he took the responsibility on his shoulders. He played. He gave it all he had. He played through a torn labrum. He tried his best to be a leader. And that they yep. That's it. Yeah, I don't know what else I can give you because I mean the roster's great. The offensive line is great. The PFF isn't lying. The defensive the the corners are great. Jim Schwartz has a good resume. He should be fine. Stefanski is fine. I think they didn't have that many injuries last year. I think it's just kind of an organizational thing, and I don't know. Maybe they fix it. Maybe they don't. Maybe somebody steps up and becomes the leader. But we haven't seen it yet. But this is the start of the really, really strong teams. So I have Browns at 18, but man, they could easily be in the conference championship game. Like they have enough talent. I just think they got to get their heads right, and maybe they do. But history says no. So that's it. That's all I got for the Browns. So yeah, thanks for listening. Sorry, this is kind of like a. I started off I think I just kind of shouldn't have pushed record because my head was like already thinking of it, and I just blurted it out. But I think it was maybe pretty whatever. I don't know. I'm not gonna do it again. So all right, bye everyone. Bye.